At exactly 4:32 a.m., federal agents stormed a remote island off California's coast, expecting to find a sanctuary for refugees. What they uncovered instead was 87 unidentified children locked behind steel doors, and a humanitarian empire built on hidden suffering. It shook even seasoned investigators. The real question is, how did this nightmare stay hidden in plain sight for nearly a decade? At 4:32 a.m., the operation surged into motion. Two Coast Guard MH-65 Dolphin helicopters, running silent and dark, cut through the pre-dawn haze above the Pacific. Their rotors barely registered over the water as they hovered in tight formation, eyes on the island's main compound. Below, 3 tactical boats powered by twin outboards closed in from different bearings, each carrying a team of federal agents equipped for maritime assault. The water around Serenity Cove was thick with movement, over 200 agents from FBI, ICE, and DHS converging from all quadrants, each assigned a precise entry vector. Radio traffic crackled with terse updates. North approach in position. South team standby. Perimeter security was layered. Motion sensors lined the rocky shore. Cameras swept every landing point, and a guard tower at the east dock housed 3 armed contractors. At 4:47 a.m., synchronized breach orders hit every team. Helicopters descended to rooftop hover, lowering insertion teams by rope onto the mansion upper balcony. Simultaneously, boats grounded on the north and west beaches, agents fanning out under the cover of darkness. The first shots rang out from the guard tower. Contractors fired at the advancing agents. Flashbang grenades lit up the fog, followed by suppressive fire from tactical units. Within minutes, the tower was neutralized and the contractors disarmed. Entry teams used hydraulic rams and breaching charges to force open steel-reinforced doors, pushing rapidly through marble corridors lined with imported stone. Every move was calculated to prevent destruction of evidence or escape by key suspects. By 5 a.m., the main estate was under federal control. Agents fanned out to secure the helipad, generator house, and all docked vessels. Electronic jammers cut off outside communication. A mobile command center relayed updates to headquarters as the sweep continued. With the surface secure, tactical teams regrouped at a concealed stairwell beneath the mansion's west wing, preparing to descend into the unknown. The next phase would reveal the true purpose of the island's hidden infrastructure. At 5:18 a.m., agents forced open a steel security door at the base of a concealed stairwell. The air in the corridor was cold and sterile, humming with the sound of ventilation fans. 60 identical doors lined the walls, each marked with a black number. Behind those doors, agents found 87 children, ages 6 to 16. Most wore plain gray clothing, their shoes mismatched or missing. None carried identification. Some clung to blankets, others sat on the edge of metal cots, eyes wide and unblinking under fluorescent lights. The children spoke in hushed voices, Somali, Arabic, Tigrinya, and Swahili. A few tried English, asking if this was the interview they had been promised. Many had been told they were waiting for placement in American schools. Some had not seen sunlight in weeks. The youngest, a boy no older than 6, stared at the floor and refused to speak. Several older girls shielded the smaller children, stepping forward to answer questions from agents and trauma specialists. Medical teams moved quickly, separating the children from the facility staff and from the suspects. Each child underwent an initial health check, including pulse, blood pressure, dehydration, and signs of malnutrition or injury. Intake sheets noted bruises, untreated infections, and in several cases, withdrawal symptoms from sedatives. Agents documented each room, steel beds bolted to the floor, security cameras in every corner, and biometric locks on every door. The rooms were spotless, but the absence of toys, books, and personal effects was unmistakable. Some children asked if they could call their families. Others had no memory of how they arrived or what country they had left behind. One girl, age 12, recited the name of a refugee camp in Ethiopia, then fell silent. Trauma-informed protocols guided every step. Children were kept together in small groups, offered food and water, and shielded from the chaos of the ongoing search. Agents logged the languages spoken, physical descriptions, and any fragments of personal history the children could provide. No digital records matched these names. For now, the only evidence of their existence was the line of intake forms and the quiet, shuffling footsteps in the corridor. The human cost of the operation was no longer abstract. It was measured in faces, voices, and the silent wait for answers that might never come. Agents swept through the mansion's east wing, stacking evidence bins along the marble floors. Metal filing cabinets, some still locked, lined a windowless office. Inside, thousands of dossiers cataloged children by code, age, language, and health status. Each folder included a photograph, a fabricated backstory, and a numerical tag. Price sheets printed on heavy stock listed children by age group, with higher figures for those described as bilingual or healthy. Transaction codes matched offshore wire transfers and routing numbers tied to accounts in the Cayman Islands, Cyprus, and Hong Kong. A forensic technician lifted a laptop from a desk where Amina Hassan Osman and Ibrahim Khaled Rashid were calmly feeding documents into a cross-cut shredder. The laptop's encrypted drive revealed a server directory labeled Operation Innocence Trade. Digital forensic teams began imaging drives on site, logging every device with chain-of-custody barcodes. Each step was documented, from the moment a hard drive left the office to its handoff in the mobile command trailer. In a separate room, a wall of monitors displayed live feeds from cargo ports in Los Angeles, a warehouse in Sacramento, and a private airstrip in Nevada. A grid of 60 camera feeds mapped directly to the numbered doors below ground. The command center tracked not only the movement of children on the island, but also the flow of vehicles and visitors at each logistics node. Every visitor's arrival and departure was logged alongside a corresponding child's dossier. The evidence no longer pointed to isolated abuse. It revealed a system designed for selection, transaction, and delivery. Hope Horizon International's financial records told a story measured in wire transfers, offshore filings, and missing children. Over 8 years, the organization reported $680 million in donations and grants, yet only a fraction, just 11%, could be traced to legitimate program expenses. The rest vanished into a lattice of more than 40 shell companies registered across 7 countries, routed through banks in the Cayman Islands, Cyprus, and Hong Kong. Forensic accountants mapped 312 international humanitarian transport missions on paper. But auditors found that 3,412 children listed as beneficiaries had no follow-up records, no school enrollments, no medical files, and no repatriation forms anywhere. The web extended far beyond the island. Internal memos and encrypted emails outlined a plan to scale up operations. Phase 3 projected 10,000 children trafficked per year by 2028, with an estimated $2.4 billion in annual revenue. The projection was built for expansion. The system depended on more than just paperwork. Investigators identified 34 public officials who had quietly enabled the network's expansion, including 7 immigration officers, 5 port inspectors, 9 child protective services coordinators, 6 customs agents, 4 judges, and 3 state legislators. Payments surfaced as consulting fees, campaign contributions, or wire transfers from shell entities. Each link in the chain, every rubber-stamped document, every waived inspection, helped children disappear without a trace. The scale was industrial, and the corruption was deliberate. The network's reach transformed a single island compound into the nerve center of a global enterprise, built on the assumption that humanitarian credentials and layers of legal complexity would keep scrutiny at bay. Networks exploiting trust and charity still operate worldwide, often beneath honorable facades. Today, more children are trafficked than ever before, according to the United Nations. Until accountability matches the scale of deception, real children remain at risk. The question is, who will see behind the curtain next? Share your thoughts below.